Well guys, this mission is off to a very successful start because walking from over there, car's over there, walking up to that rock there to fish, haven't even set up my rod, not even at the spot, caught our first fish. Well, found, it is some kind of little shark. It's the target species, but I don't think this one is. Some kind of little reef shark, or a little like wobbegong-esque carpet shark thing. It doesn't smell very good. True. Interesting find. Alright guys, welcome back to another rodcast. We are in Dunedin, or a little bit out of Dunedin, fishing on a beach. And the target species for tonight are mainly rig, it's like a little school shark or gummy shark. Other than that, possibly some blue moki, or if we're really lucky, like a gurnard or something. Not gone too complicated here. Got a rod, a little bit of prawn on this one, hook, sinker, easy as. Cast out a little way. And we have a second rod over here which has a very similar setup, except the chunk of mussel. Both rig and blue moki only feed on like shellfish, so you won't get them on any fish baits. You get them on like crabs, crayfish if you can afford that, which I definitely can't. And yeah, hopefully mussels and prawns. Fire off one cast out behind the breakers. Make sure my reel's screwed on. Boom. One rod good to go. This other one out. And the idea here is that you're going to be cruising up and down this shore break, just behind the breaking waves, so you don't need to cast too far. Perfect. And now the fun part, which is we sit and wait. Lucky thing about watching on YouTube is you skip out on all the boring fucking hours in between no action. It's probably a little too early to really be catching anything. I don't have super high hopes. Normally it's still winter, and normally the fish come in with the summer once it warms up a little bit. But it's still a bit early, but you never know. If I don't catch anything, you'll never see this footage, so you will never know. That is fucking cool, man. Really want to like, nah, that's the kind of shit people wingsuit through and then inevitably die when they smash their fucking legs off on it. I'd fucking try that though. It's a bit too tempting not to. shit, there's a seal. Probably not a good sign for the fishing. Pretty cool though. Holy shit, he's surfing. Yeah, that's fish. That's a fish. We are on. Not big, but it's a fish. What's it gonna be? Just a fucking wrasse. Oh, yeah, that's something. Right, there we go. This shit ass lighting. This is little rock wrasse. Some description. Species that I'm not very fond of. And slimy little bastards. But it's a fish, so can't be too much. Alright, go again. I'm pretty cooked if I actually hook something on that other rod. So I can't see it. I can't see if it's on her. I've done that once before. I was shark fishing and I didn't loosen the drag on my rod after the last shark I caught, so it was really tight. I put it in the rod holder and walked off to take a piss. Came back and the rod holder, like I've got there, like a piece of PVC pipe, was lying on the ground. There's just a big line just going straight out into the water. Goodbye $400, $500 combo. Well, seeing as this one seems like it's going to be a bit fishless, thought I'd give you guys a little yarn from a session I had last trout season on this beautiful little river down in the Catlins. It's a river I fish quite a bit, and normally I'm not good at fly fishing at all, but normally I can get like one or two fish a session. And we were fishing and it was a fucking beautiful day, just dead calm, and fished throughout the afternoon and just couldn't really get anything to work, but I was okay with that. Explored a bit of new water, and then an evening time rolled around, and that's when like you can pretty much rely on getting a rise of fish. Like there's normally a good hatch of these little caddisfly on that river, so you can pretty much guarantee for an hour or two around sunset that this trout will be feeding on the surface. It makes them really easy to spot, and they're actively eating, so they're pretty easy to catch. But for some reason this day I just couldn't get anything to work. I'd see a trout rising, I'd stalk up on it, I'd try and work out what it was feeding on, I'd do a good cast, but they were only rising really intermittently, so it was quite hard to work out where the fish were, and yeah, I just couldn't make anything work. Couldn't even get an eat from any of them. I was working my way up the pool, cast maybe 5-6 fish, and not a single eat, not a single even anything good, honestly. And I pretty much resigned myself to a fishless day. I wasn't going to get anything, and I was with a mate, so it was even more embarrassing because I was trying to always make out like I'm a good fisherman, right? And here I am catching fuck all. He'd actually lost 2, so he'd had more success than I had. Anyway, right as I was about to pack up, because there's this section of water that normally all the fish are in, and I'd fished all of those pools, and then I saw one fish right where you never really see any fish, but it looked like a nice fish. It started rising. So I switched to these little wet flies, which was a tactic I'd just been trying out and had just recently worked out how to fish them. So instead of your fly floating on the surface, it sinks just below the surface film. I was imitating, these caddis are rising up from the bottom and rising up to the surface, and they hatch out and climb out of their exoskeleton, become their adult form, and then take off from the water. And so a wet fly imitates a little caddis fly stuck in the surface film, can't quite get onto the surface. So I put one of these things on, and just last light as well, was definitely my last shot. Stalked up on this fish, waited for him to rise, worked out how much line I needed, cast behind him so I wouldn't spook him, just to get the feel of the cast, the feel of the drift. Waited for him to rise again, then put the cast directly 5-10 centimeters in front of his face. Landed nice and softly, just perfect cast. And when you're fly fishing, you can tell when you get it right. You can tell when you're like, oh, that's a good cast. And it was one of these ones I was like, oh yeah, that's a good cast, he'll eat that. And well, I'll play the footage for you now. I won't spoil the ending. Fuck!